Hello and finally welcome back to the IceMac MMA podcast. It's been a little bit of time. We had some real life stuff popping up, the holidays. I went back to see my folks. Alex went back to see his. But we should be back for continuously for the foreseeable future and for every episode we drop. Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube. You can find us on all of those. Our Twitters will be in the description. But as always, join with Alex Eisman. Alex, how you doing? It's been a minute.
It has been a little bit. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everyone listening as well. I know it's January 16th, but I figure for the first one this year, might as well send some well wishes. So, yeah, good to be back, man. It's been a pretty eventful couple weeks for your boy especially,
Yeah, I
Don't
see
mean to
you.
like don't mean to like really be that guy, but I mean, come on.
So,
I had to slide something like that in there.
are you gonna buy some Raiders merch whenever he and JJ head down to Vegas, or
He's not going to the Raiders, bro. He's not. He's just not. He's just
we?
not.
I don't know, man. Go
All
that
right,
far, but
let's
that was a little
no.
aggressive. Um, Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. But they are definitely way closer at the hip than 99.9% of coaches and their quarterback.
Yeah, I,
Little,
I agree with that.
it's almost obsessive. I don't know that I'd go as far to say obsessive, but it's certainly tied in. We're not a college football pod. We need to stop doing that.
I know, but it just comes out, and I was way too excited about it to like not say anything. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's only
No,
been a
it's
week.
I definitely get it.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine you've come any further off cloud nine. I'm sure you're still right there.
Oh, squarely,
Yeah.
squarely right there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But no, I mean it's been plenty eventful in the MMA world too. We've got UFC 300 moving our way. Some of these fights from the card last week were pretty solid, have some meaning to them. But we start with another card that's coming up, not UFC 300, but actually a replacement card in the UFC stead. They moved off of the Saudi event. They had to postpone it because it didn't seem like Saudi was happy with that card. And Bellator and PFL brought the heat. They released a loaded card going over to Saudi.
Yeah, they slid right in there, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was like not even a week after the UFC card was off. And we were talking about this earlier today. It's nice to finally see some consequences handed down to Dana for putting together a stinker of
Yeah.
a card.
Well, and it's nice to actually have a company capable of putting on a card that could rival the UFC. Like even if he did give a stinker, it was still the best card you could find in MMA as recently as 6, 8 months ago. But
Yeah.
now, I mean, the folks over in Saudi are going to get Ryan Bader, Henan Fajeda, um, Johnny Eblin, Magomed Karamov, Patricio Pitbull. I'm just running down names here that Yoel Romero, Thiago Santos, Vadim Nemkov, AJ McKee. Like they got a hit row of guys that not only are very very talented but are very very known to MMA.
Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, in terms of fights outside of the UFC, how much bigger does it get than four fights where you take the Bellator champ and the PFL champ and they fight each other? Like that is so massive. And like you said, I mean, I perked up when I heard Thiago Santos and Yoel Romero were fighting. Like that's just awesome. And at least what I saw Helwani tweet is that we could possibly have Clarissa Shields on
Hmm.
that card as well, which
Yep.
would be just like nuts, completely insane.
This is the ultimate merger card, as it were, because obviously these two companies have to merge because they were doing the same thing under different banners. Um, and they send it overseas to, love them or hate them, and what their involvement in sports is as a whole. They are going to be the biggest bidders. So they said, you know what? We're going to get the most money to put this on over here. Let's go get that bag. Let's put on the biggest show. And for the folks back home, it is lovely timing to run a card. Main card starts at 3 p.m., which is
Oh,
the best part of the Saudi cards.
that's phenomenal. That is wonderful. And so
Ah,
we're now gonna have I think that's back-to-back weekends because I think the weekend before is Vulcan Ilya, right?
yes, and I just noticed on because I have it pulled up, just MMAfighting.com does have Clarissa Shields listed on the prelims. I just didn't see her because she is the third fight on the prelims. Says she's fighting Kelsey DeSantis. Um,
I don't
Ron
know who that is. I know who Clarissa Shields is, and
is Kelsey related to Ron by chance? Spelt the same way.
Fat
Uh,
Ron.
is he going to get dogged wife this year and then have to support him? So,
Uh,
politics and college football. God love
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so regardless, I mean that card is it looks fake.
Yes, that is. I mean, for a non-UFC card, it is the best. It is literally the best of the best.
This is something that we should certainly be talking about more off camera than on, but I would not hate like it'd make for a longer day for us and maybe we do one in the morning, one at night or something, but doing two podcasts that week, one for the UFC setup, one for this, and releasing them on separate days and like giving it its own spotlight because this card is an hour-long podcast in and of itself.
Yeah, and to be honest, I haven't looked that far ahead to whatever
Right.
UFC card is that weekend. There might not even be one. Like, I wouldn't want to compete with that.
No.
Are you kidding? Hell no.
Well, what date do you remember offhand what date the Saudi
February
card was?
24th is
So that's
the
what so it did fall into that time. This card is February 24th in Riyadh.
yes.
So yeah, with it being delayed, the UFC card was supposed to be the 24th, just to make sure we're being
Oh, the
transparent here.
UFC card, no. The UFC
Okay.
card I think was supposed to be the weekend after.
Okay, never mind then. Well, then if they have that spot, they'd be smart to move whatever they were planning for February 24th back to the third, or I was about to say February 31st, March 2nd or 3rd or whatever that'd be.
Yeah.
Um, that honestly would be a better business decision because they're not outdrawing this card.
No. Dude, I'm not watching. I know whatever shit that they have on the Apex that weekend, there's gonna be one fight worth watching, and that's
Generous,
it. And I can
very
have that
generous.
on my computer for the 20 minutes that I need to watch that fight, and the rest of it will be it'll just be on the other card. I'm actually kind of interested to see what
Wait, you don't want to watch Ricky Simone and Marcus McGee main event a fight night in the Apex? That's not up your alley, Alex?
okay, hold up, hold up, hold up. No, the answer to that question is no, but the fight night that they have, I was like kind of right because only the main and co-main I'm interested in. It's the rematch between um Brandon Moreno and Brandon Royval
Yeah.
is the main event, and
Oh
then
yeah,
Brian
T City
Ortega
Yair.
Yair is the co-main,
And then it goes.
and then everything else is just atrocious, atrociously bad.
Honestly, just move that back to the third
Move
or
that to the
second.
third.
Yeah. Don't don't make poor Brandon Moreno go
Yeah, we
up
want
against
Brandon.
this.
We want Brandon Moreno to get his money.
Honestly, say to hell with this card. Take T City, Yair, Brandon and put them on 299 and let's call it good.
Put him on 300. 299 is good enough as it is. You need 300 to be the best card of the year.
Yeah,
Like
but it's
that
not on track.
if the Brandons fight at 300, that'll be the one card where I won't complain about them being on the prelims.
I will say right now 299 is set up to be like the opener is set up to be oh wait, no, never mind, that's 5. So the opener set up to be Gamrot versus RDA. You could maybe move like Chukagi and Barber down, but like most of these Curtis and Jilton you have to have on the main. Um I thought it was going to be Pedro and Kyler was the point I was getting at but I just miscounted. I was like,
Oh,
you could
okay.
definitely move Moreno and Royval into that spot or whoever. Um, but point being, do not go up against this Saudi card. You will lose.
Yes, that's what we're getting at.
And Dana hates flyweights anyways. I don't know why he would try to have them main event against that. And then other than to fulfill his
Yeah, it's
self-believing
a self-fulfilling
prophecies.
prophecy. Yeah,
Yeah. God.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay. So we can move past it. I mean, we'll talk plenty more about that card whenever we get a little closer. But another big piece of news, Alex, your girl, Tatiana Suarez, she's out. We're getting Mackenzie Dern now versus Amanda Lemos. Doesn't do anything for me.
No,
Doesn't
and
even
the
kind of
like
do anything.
because Lemos already got smoked by Wei Lee. Like she's not gonna get another chance at that. Like the only reason why I was excited for this fight is because Tatiana Suarez was fighting in it, and it would just it would just validate her getting a title shot. Now, now that we have Wei Lee set up to fight, oh my God, who is she fighting?
Yan Xiaonan, is she not?
Yes, I don't know why I spaced on that. Yeah, because it's all China. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, not like that, bro. It's because that's
I,
how they promote. That's how Dana literally promoted it. It was the first all Chinese title fight ever.
you just sounded like every 40-year-old from my hometown when you said it. It's like watching Fox News. I'm sorry, it just
Not
caught
my
me off guard.
intentions. Not my intentions. Can I continue, please?
Yes, yes, you go right on
Let
ahead,
me
Alex.
let me continue. Um, so
Sorry, bro. Listen, it's first pod in like 3 weeks. I'm a little off the rails. I got the big gulp. You can just let me
you're
have my.
throwing me off my game now, dude. You gotta stop. And now he's showing up.
If I don't know if the camera was on me initially, but this is what Alex is laughing at. Um, but the point you were attempting to make, I'll fill in while you breathe. Tatiana was the redeeming quality of this fight, and now that she's been removed, um, it's a lack of substance, and it feels like a lack of meaning coming out of the winner of this.
Yes, but if there's a silver lining out of it, it's that, Tatiana will probably be the next person to fight Zhang Weili now. Most,
Yes.
I hope, because I assume she's probably like injured right now, and and because the Weili fight won't be until April, like she'll have some time to recover. It'll give Weili some time to recover, and we'll all have the timeline will match up well for that to be the next title fight. Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Assuming Whaley decides to get back in the cage at some point this year.
I
Otherwise,
I
otherwise
think so.
you're
I know she only fought once last year, but do you think that fighting in April is early enough to at least get two under her belt? Like there are
yeah,
so many fighters who fight 3 times a year. Like
but champs
that
don't
much to
really have
ask?
that. Yeah, but champs don't really need to anymore. It's just risk averse. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
avoiding the pratfalls that you will not be forced to make because Dana's not going to strip you of your belt, especially not in that weight class. Like she
Especially
could,
when you're that fighter, when you're
right?
a Zhang Weili type. Yeah.
Yeah, she can hold off till January or February and call it good, but she doesn't have anything to do with this. Point is, Tatiana's out. Interest has been lost. And then we got a couple UFC 300 announcements right before we did this. This obviously releases the day before. So we know Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway is going to be on that card now. And then Jim Miller will be on every single 100 card. So he's been on 100, 200. He will now be on 300 fighting Bobby Green.
Yeah, which is super cool. That fight itself like doesn't really excite me that much, but like the story Jim Miller's been around for a while. Being able to achieve that is pretty awesome. So, congratulations to him. But I think we can already pencil in fight of the year as Gaethje and Holloway
Yes.
because like there's just going to be no other option.
Alex, over under 0.5 times Max Holloway gets knocked down in that fight.
I know you said you think he's going to get knocked down. I think he will.
Which
I think he
it's
will. It's going to be 25 minutes.
yeah.
Max, I mean, I would put a lot of money on it going to a decision
Hmm.
because both of those guys are so tough. But I think Justin will be able to crack Max a little bit and make him touch earth, but he won't put him away.
No, no. If anybody gets put away, it will be Justin. It's just,
Really,
yeah,
the only way to me that Justin gets put away is by submission, and Max is not going to submit him.
yeah. But Justin, if it goes into like an actual war, he's some of them old swing wild, don't really protect yourself. Things are going to come out, and that's not the guy that you do it against. You
But
know,
also Max is the one coming up in weight.
he
Max is
is,
a 145er.
but he's so proficient on the. I mean, I mean,
He
we
is.
know.
I'm telling you, I think
Yeah.
I am very confident that it goes to a decision.
Yes.
But to me, if there's anyone who gets put out, it will be Max because it's a higher weight class and Justin Gaethje hits harder than 95% of people at lightweight.
Or
He might be the hardest hitter at lightweight.
yeah, I think he would be, and I also think he hits harder than 98% of human beings in general
Well,
because
I
he
mean,
just
yeah, obviously. If you're a
yeah.
UFC fighter, you hit harder than 98% of human beings.
I think Justin would be top 10 in the weight class above him as far as hard hitters. That's we don't have to do this
Yeah, we
debate.
don't need to think
I
about that.
just
That would be too much time for me.
yes, that was just a anecdotal whatever that I decided to toss in there. All right, so 300 still not what we need, but looking better. Now let's
We'll
talk
get it.
about yeah,
If
just
dude,
marginal.
if it's Pereira and Hill, like
It's Brock and Frank Mir coming out of retirement. We're doing it again.
that's like watching Nick Diaz fight again, bro. He's just gonna lay down and quit. Both of them. Both of them are just gonna lay down. It's gonna be a no contest because they both gassed out within the first round.
I bet Brock could still go, especially with USADA not around. You kidding me? Mark Hunt will be somewhere screaming. It'll be great.
Someone's gonna have to like bring Mark Hunt a cheeseburger in between rounds, bro.
Oh God, dude. All right, let's get into these recaps. The big one, another heartbreaker for you. We're starting off in Heartbreak City for you in 2024, Alex, because Johnny Walker went down to steal.
He went down
Yeah,
very, very hard. Big tree fall hard. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Big Tree
the
fell
silver
very hard.
lining to this is that we didn't make an official selection on this fight. So I'm not 0-1 to start the
Yeah,
year.
because I certainly I would have been picking against you.
Yep.
I was
Yep.
just shocked that it was by on the feet. You know, I figured he would have made him tap.
Yeah, but like in a lot of Johnny Walker's fights, you've just seen him like he gets hit flush on the chin. Like he doesn't have that much. He doesn't have a lot of chin strength, and that's always been his problem for as tall and rangy as he is. Like you touch him up and he'll go down.
Yeah, well, even like that head kick, that loopy thing that we saw the replay where it almost looks like he knocked himself out by falling backwards because he kind of does the like yeah, his chin's never been a strong point for him. But still, you would have thought a guy like Magomed would have just taken
Yeah,
him
I would have
down
just
and
kind of tortured him, wrestling, leg kicks.
sorry. Uh, so okay, so do we think Magomed gets the next title shot now?
No, it's 100% Jamal Hill.
Is he ready? Like actually?
All right, so he tore the Achilles in July, right?
Yeah.
So if we're thinking April, hopefully, is that 9 months?
April, July, yeah.
So that might be a little early. Um,
Especially because that's without factoring camp time yet.
yes, but Alex also just fought in December.
Wasn't a
So
long fight though.
it wasn't a long fight. It wasn't a long fight, but I feel like if they don't do it in April, it'll still be Jamal in like May or June, probably.
I see. My gut is telling me Izzy and Alex. If we're getting it at 300, I'm thinking Izzy, Alex, 7 or
I
whatever.
would be okay with that actually. I'd be
I,
fine with that.
yeah. Because at least give Al or Izzy the chance to go boogeyman Alex now. Like you can give him that formality.
Yeah, it to me it's just more like are we like which Izzy are we gonna get? Are we gonna get Sean Strickland Izzy or are we gonna get the last time he fought Alex?
We're gonna
Because
get
like that
Gyno
dude is just
Izzy.
annoying me now, bro.
We're gonna get Gyno Izzy, and it's gonna be beautiful.
Izzy is gonna be a D cup by the time he steps into the octagon.
And singular, one side. It's gonna look like he's halfway through reassignment, and
Dude,
like literally
dude,
halfway. He started with the right side first. He's working
Oh
his
my
way
God.
over. Um, and then, and then the other one, you were the one pushing for this one to get on here because of the social media outpouring for Josh Van
Yeah,
after this last card. Definitely got a little bit of gas in the tank now.
some flyweight excitement, man. We love
Yeah.
it. We love
So
that.
so what are we thinking? Third to last or third to first fight on a pay-per-view card next for him?
He'll be the featured early prelim.
Yeah. Well, don't get ahead of yourself. He's still a flyweight. Like you might put him one below the featured EP, but
Yeah,
um
featured and flyweight don't go together. My fault. That's
no,
my fault.
unless you're Brandon Moreno.
Facts.
That's the
Facts.
only way, and I think it's just because Dana also likes Legos. I don't know if it's got anything to do. I don't know that he's ever seen Brandon fight. I think he just is into the Lego thing. But he did have a very good performance. He's put on plenty of good performances. Recently I had
Yeah,
to dig a little bit pre this fight because I wasn't too familiar with him. But I'm liking
undefeated in
what
the
I'm seeing.
UFC. Only one
Yeah.
loss on his record.
Mm-hmm.
He's
A
looking
little bit
good.
like a little bit like somebody else we'll talk about here in a little bit. See, um, that might be going up against Neil Magny.
Yes.
Yeah, could have a very similar thing because it's not like Mike Malott is not, or he's kind of picked up a lot of steam lately as opposed to having this well-founded thing.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, 100%. But no, that was exciting watching what Josh Van did this weekend.
yes, yeah, big. I mean, we don't really have to say too much about it. It's just like a remember that name should be on your radar.
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll be like our Benoit Saint Denis this year.
You
I feel
think
like. I mean, possibly. Depends
that's a
on how many
hot
times he fights. But like
that's a hot prediction early. I think I wouldn't be,
highlight's an easy weight class to climb up the ladder, dude.
you know what? It's not like the biggest jump in the world, but I could see Charles Jourdain kind of serving that role this year.
You think?
Yeah,
He's fun. He is super fun. Yeah.
he's just such a vibes guy.
Yeah.
And like I mean, he gets a good fight to start off, and we'll actually go ahead and jump into the predictions because he is the
Yeah.
first guy we'll talk about. Charles Jourdain going up against Sean Woodson, who only has one loss on his record, 10 wins. He's not really that prolific. It's kind of confusing me why he's in this fight to begin with.
Well, the thing with Sean Woodson is just his size. He's like a one of those Corey Sandhagen, just big, long. Obviously, Corey is way more skilled than him, but like dealing with that in itself is gonna be trouble for anybody. But yeah, Jordane's just like he's so creative, and we haven't seen. It seems like he has a pretty good chin on him too. Um, I think as long as he just doesn't like overexert himself, just the angles in which he strikes, the efficiency with which he strikes, I think that should be more than enough to get a win here. I don't know if it'll be by KO, but I think it'll get the job done, and it should be entertaining.
I don't want this to be perceived the wrong way, but to me, the Sean Woodson thing feels closer to like a Stefan Struve, like, hey, look at this. Like, look
Yeah,
at this guy. Like that's kind of what this feels like to me. Because like I said, he's not that prolific. He's not great on the ground. Doesn't really put a whole lot of people out. It's mostly just a range thing that Dana seems to really be interested in and around that weight class. So I'm right there with you. I don't know how Jourdain's going to finish it, but I do think he gets it out of there before we get to the judges.
interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
I and that wouldn't surprise me. I just think I don't know if Jordane's been up against someone like Woodson physically, so it's more just like erring on the side of caution for me, and just thinking that he wins it with in the judge's eyes.
Yeah, I just with how exciting Jourdain is, I think he's just going to be hunting. I don't know that the size will really bug him too much. I think it just
Hmm.
makes stuff more fun for him.
Yeah.
Um, so that's my logic there. Okay, so we talked ahead of the pod before we started recording that we did a bit of a thinker check, if you will. I just asked Alex how many of these fights did you actually have to sit here and think about as to who you'd be predicting. We both had two, but um they were not the same ones. Most namely, Arnold Allen and Movsar Evloev was not a thinker for you. So I want you to present your case here if you feel as confident in this fight as you seem to.
I happily. This one's Arnold Allen 100%. 100%. Movsar, bro, almost lost to a UFC newcomer, and I know Diego Lopez has like kind of become this ascending star as well. But
Yes.
at the end of the day, he was still a UFC newcomer fighting a ranked fighter. And yes, I know Movsar is undefeated. Arnold Allen, his only loss in his last like 20 was to Max Holloway, and he
Mhm.
took 2 rounds off of him. So there's that.
Doesn't happen.
That yes. So I did not struggle with this one at all. I think Arnold Allen is very clearly the better fighter, and Movsar is going to get exposed on Saturday. Movsar also apparently is like a pedophile. I don't know if you'd seen anything about that. He's
No.
talking about being like 23 and dating a 17-year-old.
Oh,
So he's like Josh Giddey.
yeah, or
Still being allowed to fight. Josh Giddey's still allowed to play basketball. I don't know what's up with that.
our favorite topic of conversation,
Pat
Pat Barry.
Barry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to call him the mascot of this podcast. Don't want to do that, but he's certainly a hot topic around here. Um, is the Mofsar thing related to his religion? Because that's more what that feels like. It doesn't. I'm not saying that that makes it right, but
That I don't know. I just saw a video where he was like talking about being 23 and dating a 17-year-old.
okay.
That is all I know.
Yeah, because he
That's
being
the
from Russia,
information
that's
he's given.
probably a lot more normal over there than it is over here. I don't even like. I'm not gonna lie to you, Alex. I don't know the age of consent law in Russia, but yeah, it definitely still looks gross no matter how you slice it. I
Yeah.
hadn't seen any of that though. To answer your question, I'm riding with you, Arnold Allen. I think he's so much clearly better on the feet, which is and
Yeah.
Arnold's good enough on the ground that he can stalemate it, if push comes to shove. I think Arnold takes that zero, probably by decision, but wouldn't be totally shocked with the TKO.
Yeah. I I I think it'll probably be a decision as well, just because of Movsar. He's a good enough wrestler where he can kind of prolong the fight. I am checking right now, but I was looking this morning, and I'm pretty sure that Arnold is an underdog. So if you want to make some money on Saturday,
Free toss.
bet on Arnold Allen.
All right, so the next one we got up, which by the way, Arnold Allen, Movsar Evloev should be above this. Chris Curtis, Marc-Andre Barrialt. Um, you would think somebody's lights are going to go out in this one, but like neither one of them are that, um, what's the word I'm looking at? Probable to getting their lights turned off. Typically they've both got
They're
pretty strong
durable.
jaws. Huh?
They're durable.
Yes, but it was there like a word to represent probability, but I can't think of what it was. Um, this one fairly easy for me. I think Chris Curtis just looks better against UFC competition. Like Marc-Andre Barrialt has not had that stellar of a UFC career. I don't think that's changing, and most of the guys he's beaten are clearly tiers below Chris Curtis, and he's lost to guys around or below the tier of Chris Curtis. So, um, I'm not going to overcomplicate it. Just take Chris Curtis and call it good.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And really, Curtis's recent losses too have been close and have come against guys who are definitively, I think, better than Marc-Andre Barrio. So yeah, I don't have much to say about this. Chris Curtis is a tough guy to finish. I don't know if he's been finished in the UFC yet. Um, I'd have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't. And yeah, like you said, just levels above Marc Andre. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we
I,
picked this fight because one of the fighters was worth. Like, if Marc Andre was having another fight on this card, probably wouldn't have made this list. Like,
yeah,
I respect the hustle. Hopefully, maybe he wins and proves us wrong and ends up on some tear, but I don't personally see it. The value has not been matched to this point in his run in the company. This next one mentioned him earlier, Mike Malott and Neil Magny. Kind of a similar boat. Again, how is Arnold Allen and Mavsar below this? Why?
I don't know. I think Mike Malott's super fun though. Neil Magny is not super fun though.
It's
Yeah.
not a fun issue, it's a value issue.
Well, I mean, Neil is still ranked though. Neil's a ranked fighter.
But who's buying a card? I think more people are buying a card to watch Arnold Allen or Mobsar above Neil.
I agree with that. But I don't know. It seems like Mike Malott has kind of captured the Canadian audience.
Yeah, he's the
So
new GSP.
yeah, I mean,
I'm sure people love that quote.
yeah, people are gonna be coming through for your throat, bro. I get what you're saying though. Just a Canadian-born fighter to get people excited about. And I
Yeah.
mean, he is good. He is good. I'm picking him. I don't know if you're picking Neil or not, but
No, no, I'm
yeah,
picking Mike.
I'm
Come,
picking. Yeah, I think it'll be by decision because Neil is another guy who's tough to put out. Um,
see, we
I
vary a
think
little bit there.
Shavkat put him out. Gilbert put him out. I don't know if Malot's on that level.
Probably not, but like he does have the finish streak going in the UFC, and just for wishful thinking, I'd like to see that continue. So I do have it by finish. How realistic that is, I don't know, but you got to aim for the stars, right?
Yeah. No, I listen. I would rather see finishes. I'd feel like I'm predicting a super boring card with all these decisions, but like it's more matchup based than anything. But um, yeah, I like Mike Malott a lot. I hope that this will get him into the rankings if he wins. And I mean, it's cool. Canadians are cool. I like Canadians. I got family in Canada. So
A shining endorsement of Canada by Alex
I
Eisen.
I I didn't have to say anything good about Canada.
No, you
I
didn't.
willfully said that. I've spent a decent amount of time in Canada.
The
It's a fun
Canadian
time.
mob's not holding you for hostage and making you say that.
No,
No, they
no.
hold you
And
hostage and say
when it's
sorry.
nice out, when it's summer in Canada, it's beautiful. I will say the winter in Canada, not as cool because it's really cold. Really
Yeah,
cold.
I think winter should not exist anywhere above palm trees. You know what I mean? I think we should just wipe it out and just have summer all year long and call it good. But
Yeah, why are people bitching about global warming all that much?
sounds like a dream to me, man. I don't know what you're talking about, but shit, I'll take 70 all year round. Get out of my face. Yeah, I'm all about it. I kind of just want to skip over our next one.
Is it? Oh, I forgot it was a co-main already. Um,
I
yeah,
mean, come on. I mean, we've
bro, we
talked about
got
it.
Raquel Pennington fighting in the title fight. How crazy is that?
We have Raquel Pennington co-maining the first pay-per-view of the year. That's the part that makes me more angry. Like I have no beef with Pennington, right? But she's not.
She's very clearly one, not going to win this fight,
Yes.
and two, not exciting.
Yes.
So when you put those two together, why why did we get where we're at?
Predictable and a snooze fest. It's beautiful. Let's put that at two. But it's just because it does have a belt, it does have implications. I understand that you can't shift this anywhere else on the card, but um it's a sub, right? I mean, that's where we're going for.
It's a finish.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a sub or not. It's a finish for sure.
I this fight just I mean, and if you watched our title fight or our champ predictions for the end of the year, you'll know that we do not think highly of this fight. Um, feels like wasted time. It feels like they're just kind of buying more reason to push a Blanchfield fight or a Tatiana Suarez fight down the road.
Why couldn't we have just gotten Blanchfield here though?
Yeah,
Actually I like Bueno Silva. I think she's really good, and I mean we both are in agreement that she's gonna smoke Pennington.
yeah. Make it Bueno Silva versus Blanchfield.
Yeah,
Problem solved. We're good.
yeah.
Goofy. But yes, Myra Bueno Silva winning. Don't even did not
However
happen.
she wants.
Yes, literally. Just make it go and end as quickly as possible, please. I don't want to deal with this. And now we get to a blood feud, apparently, which has been an absurd blood feud, by the way. I mean, if you guys haven't been keeping up with Sean Strickland and Dricus du Plessis, um, I don't even know that I want to encourage you to watch their press conferences because like that feels like I'm encouraging, trauma upon people
Yeah.
because it has been violent. Sean Strickland, as recently as today, I saw, was threatening to stab Dricus. He brings that up again. Like these guys genuinely do not like each other.
Yeah. It's like, and with a guy as unhinged as Sean Strickland is, like, it is seriously dangerous, like having them even in the same room as each other, like leading up to the fight and stuff. Like that dude is crazy.
Yes, it's to the point where whoever's checking his gloves needs to be extra judicious on Saturday because he might actually try. I've never once thought that ever that checking the gloves and the tape and everything mattered that much, but now I see why they do it.
Like Sean Strickland could like Mike Tyson him and
Yes.
fucking oops, bite his
Whoops.
ear.
Yeah. Or if he manages to get him down, or dare I say a stoppage, not let go of his sub, or continue to punch him.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I'm more concerned about. Like if Sean wins, which by the way I am predicting him to win. Just outright clear that up. Assuming mine comes true and Sean wins, I don't know that he is still champion because I could see him getting kicked out of the company for refusing to get off of Drakus.
Interesting. I'm picking Dricus here.
My big thing is just I don't know that Drakus has any game plan beyond run and try to spook the deer, as it were. Um, I do like that both of them fight really weird. Like this is going to look like a fight that you would see in the parking lot of your local high school.
Yeah.
Like this is not going to look like some proficient, beautiful fight. This is going to look like the stuff you saw growing up between morons that you graduated with.
Yeah.
Which both
Like
of
what you
these
see
guys,
on like World Star and stuff.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like if you taught the kid who Naruto runs and like the kids who play badminton, like how to fight. Now we're gonna watch that. That's what it feels like we're about to see. Um, and both have rap sheets. But I think Shawnee is a more prepared fighter. I think that him getting this belt has given him a new lease on life, and he does strike me as one of the types that fighting angry is probably better for him.
That's I think that's gonna work against him because I think he's gonna be so because he is insane. I think he's gonna be so caught up in I just think he's gonna want to go out there and completely rip this dude's head off. And when you're fighting another trained killer, that's just not gonna work. But Sean, I imagine is just gonna be seeing red when he gets into that octagon. I don't know if it's reciprocated by Dricus. Um,
MMA on Point did something with Drigas, and I think if I remember right, he doesn't really hate Sean. He's just like he doesn't really respect the fact that he'll make fun of other people's trauma, and then
and then as soon as you say something about him, it's off limits. Yeah.
yeah, but also like the way Drigas was saying it, it's a little much.
Yeah.
That feels a little too rich for my blood personally, but um, I like Drakus will be the more calm fighter coming in, no matter how you slice it. Sean might try to bull rush him as he's coming into the octagon.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what's going to happen with this fight. But if I had to pick, it's Sean just using that goofy weird style to beat another goofy weird style and have a little bit more patience, especially late in the fight as he kind of gets his bearings about him. Um, and just managing to maybe finish him, but probably decision this fight.
See, this one I cannot imagine goes to the scorecards. I
I can.
cannot imagine it goes to the scorecards.
If Sean freaks out early, we know Drakus will gas. If Sean
Yeah.
freaks out early,
Well, hey, Dricus got surgery. He's not gonna gas out, okay?
cool. His new
He got his
nose isn't
nose
gonna.
fixed.
Yeah, his new nose isn't gonna add a gas tank, man. Like I get that it helps, because he can actually breathe now instead of just mouth breathing constantly. But which I mean, but I neither one of these guys are. I don't know what to expect from these guys. Like that's why I think scorecards are absolutely on the table because I could see Sean going so crazy so early that by the end he just is trying to stay awake essentially.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Dricus, it goes against all logic that Dricus beat Robert Whitaker,
Yeah.
and I might still be like hung up on that.
It's
Like
like how
I
planes
don't know
fly.
why it works, but it works. And
Drinkus
that's
Drinkus winning that fight is like a plane flying. Because like that's like an infamously
yeah,
weird topic for like science people because like they can't fully explain why that happens. But it happens every day.
yeah. And that's where I'm at with him. That's why I think he's gonna win at the end of the day. Is like it everything is telling you that this guy should not like have a UFC contract. Like this dude would have gotten into the UFC, gone like 1-3, and then gotten cut. But somehow, like here he is, and it's been working. And yeah,
Now,
that's my rationale.
in his defense, he got put on the map by beating Darren Till, which I
Yeah,
mean, like, come on, like that's the perfect guy to beat, where you get a lot more draw than you actually should based on the result of the fight. As much as I love Till, I hope he
yeah.
comes back, but like a lot of this run is like the Whitaker one is the only one that stands out to me as like that's weird. Like beating Till, I think we both predicted Till to win, but it's not a shock.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think Sean manages to keep this one, and then you can put just about anybody else in the cage with him for this next one, and I think he probably loses. But Dorikas is just that perfect guy to get me a defense from Sean and not really have to sweat it. I mean, I should be sweating it. Maybe I'm still on the other side of Dorikas where it's like I watch him, I'm like, this is not a champion. You know, we
It's
might
the
be two
same thing
sides.
with Sean though.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just same side of the coin. Like you're kind of started to buy into the Dorikas like Linsanity run basically. Whereas Sean, I guess I see a little bit more as a legitimate fighter because we've seen him for a long time fight legitimate dudes and still look within the same region of those guys.
I guess. But Sean's lost a lot of fights too, man.
He has, he has, but he reinvented himself. He got a girlfriend and hangs out with that Nina chick a lot now. And now he's a champ.
Bro, she needs to get off of my feed, off my all of my social feeds, bro.
Not into it.
No. She's just like you can't be corny and not funny. You can't do that.
Those are the criteria for Al.
You just can't like if you're like that's her whole shtick is like she's like this supposed to be comedian. Like, yeah, I get it. She like is hot and stuff, but like
Watching you try to explain this topic, we should have just been doing this for the whole episode. I should have just let you out here on this island to try to explain why you don't like that Nina girl. Um, but
yeah,
yeah,
you can't be corny and not funny and like and act like you are.
but here's the thing: corny, unfunny, and not really having much in the way of journalism, as it were, is kind of the perfect person for Dana White.
Oh yeah,
Like, not to
100%.
discredit Nina, like I'm sure she worked very
Yeah.
hard to get to her spot. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt 'cause I don't personally know her career. But she is certainly not in my bubble of trusted news sources, to put it as lightly as I possibly can. And yet she is around there, whereas guys like Ariel Helwani are not, and hey, play to your demo. Play to your demo, I get it. But um either way, I think Sean wins this fight. I don't know why we're spending so much time on this.
Because it's I mean, it's an interesting fight, interesting storylines. We're not in agreement,
No.
so
Does Drekus get Nina if he wins? Does he get all the interviews now and to shoot paintballs with his shirt off?
oh my god.
That's part of the stipulation. He gets to make content with Nina now if he wins the fight. All right, Alex. Where where can they find future episodes? Oh God.
Dude, this has been the most cancerous podcast episode I think we've ever done.
You just
Oh
text me
my
what you
god.
need bleeped. Just let me know. I've already got a couple things, I think. So you let me know what needs to be editorialized. But in the meantime, where can they find us for future episodes?
Okay. Find us. Find us on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. It's Jackson TM on Twitter. It's it's Jackson TM on Twitter.
Oh,
Alex Eisman KGWN on Twitter. We'll see you next week.
yeah.